Okay, so welcome everybody. This is our Monday Night Team Connect. And if you don't know this gorgeous face that's on here with me, this is Laci Friend. Laci is legitimately one of the first people that I spoke with in regards to Zingular. Heather got me on a three-way call with her. I'll never forget it. I was sitting in a grocery store parking lot and I'm like, who is this? Like, it was literally like talking to sunshine. And that's all I could think. Like, if she is that positive, then yeah, I think I want to know more. So that was almost, it'll be 7 years in February is how long ago that was, and I'll never ever forget it. So Laci is gonna, she's come on to join us tonight because I told her, I was like, like, I just love your energy and I love the way that you portray your passion for Zingular, and I want you to share your passion for Zingular with our team. And then I have a couple questions for you after when you're done, Laci, but I'm going to shut up and I'm going to turn the reins over to you.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And when you mentioned that call, what Jamie did not know is I was scared out of my mind. Heather had called me and told me, hey, this girl, was in another business and she's done well and she knows her stuff and all of this. Can you help me? And I was like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I know enough. What if she asks me questions I'm not going to know? Holy cow. I remember sweating bullets, but you were the sweetest, kindest person. And immediately just like, oh, okay. She is not going to drill me with information I have no idea. And I thought to myself, if I don't know, I'm just going to tell her I don't know and I'll find out for her. But what I want that to teach all of you is be afraid and do it anyway. I mean, it was like, we're going with it. What I do know is how much I love this company, how much I love this culture, how much I think that it is, I'm just going to say it, better than anything else out there. And so that's what I stood on. I was like, okay, I can stand on that, even if she knows 10 times more than me and asks me tons of questions. But that was so much fun. I literally cannot believe it was that long ago. Wow. But it's been a joy ever since. And I'm seeing all these gorgeous faces here and you all look so lovely. I got out of the shower about 40 minutes ago after working outside all day. I was like, wow. So apologies ahead of time. No makeup. My hair is not even straightened. It is dry, but hey, this is what we got, right? We get to do this anywhere we want, any way we want. And the truth is it's more about our hearts than, what it looks like on the outside. So anyways, what I wanted to talk about tonight, I really prayed about it. And I really thought about like, what could I share today? What would it be that we could all talk about to just feel filled up, And I mean, first of all, not only am I excited to be here tonight, but I'm going to say this. You might want to write it down. Stuff is coming. You may have heard this before, but I'm going to tell you it's coming soon. Some stuff is anyway. And you probably all got a spoiler alert today because I saw it on team pages, but y'all might want to be on the XDC tomorrow morning. I'm just going to say it. So set yourself an alarm because maybe some stuff's going to show up. Maybe there's exciting stuff happening, right? So tonight, what I want to do is share with you like 4 success tips or things that keep me always loving what I do. Right? Always. I love this. I mean, you guys should ask my husbands. Besides my husband and my children, I have not stuck to anything longer than Zingular. I have been married almost 25 years. I have a child who's almost 22. So I've stuck to those things, mothering and being a wife. I guess I've loved Jesus since before I can even remember. Thank you to my mom and my grandmas and stuff. But other than those things, I've literally done nothing else. And I have not had so much passion and joy to do anything else but this. And I was sitting there thinking today, what are those things? Okay. So really, if you do take notes, number 1, in my opinion, is connecting. And when I say connection, I mean with the company. Are you on XDC? Are you watching the lives in the mornings? Are you on the Zingular Instagram page? Are you on the Zingular Facebook official corporate page? Are you in whatever groups, with maybe regional leaders? Not only are you there, but are you checking in on? Are you connecting to them? Who else are you connecting with? Your personal leader. That to me is such a lifeline. It's a lifeline to me when I was learning. It was a lifeline to me when I was doing well. And it's especially a lifeline to me when I don't feel like I am doing so hot. Maybe things are down. Maybe I'm discouraged. Maybe I'm frustrated. Maybe I can't get responses. There is no greater time to be connected to your leader and your team, like your big sister lines and all of that, than at that point. And what usually happens, and I get it, it's human nature. What happens, we pull away instead of pushing in. When we get discouraged or whatever, we just watch ourselves pulling back, stepping away. Whereas the most important thing you can do is lean into it. Right. So that's another part of connection. Definitely with your personal team. If you have team members that you are their leader, and your customers. Right. So daily, what do I do daily with connections? I try to learn something new every day. So I'm listening to the room at the top. Fun fact or little tip, when I listen to a video in there or a live, I like it when I'm done with it. That way, the next time I get in room at the top and I'm scrolling to find something on my drive, because it's easy, I'm always in the car, then I go past all the liked thumbs ups that are blue because I know I've seen those. It makes it really fast. And you have to say, did I watch that? And if you're anything like me, I can read the same chapter of book 5 times. I'll get into it. I'm like, maybe I remember this. Maybe it's from something else. I keep reading. I get like 2/3 of the way in. I'm like, I have read this chapter, like, darn it. So it helps me if I just check it off by putting the like button on it so that I know that I've seen that one. That is how I get filled up. That is how I get fed. That is how I plug in, and here's another thing. If people are brand new, they need it more than ever. You need to be connected to brand new people every day, right? As they grow and become leaders on your team, you can do that maybe a little more like weekly, but for the first few months, every day. What do I do weekly? Weekly, I talk to my own leader and we hash out what's going on. How am I feeling? Where is my focus? Is it on my goals or is it on my circumstances? You can tell yourself, you all know which one is more important, right? I got to stay on my goals no matter the circumstance. I'm not in charge of the outcome, just the action. Another way to lean in. The other people, my team, all my frontline, all the people I treat like my frontline, we talk at least once a week. And those are people who've been around for a while, not the brand new people that I'm talking to every day. And then I would say the last part of connection is like special events, which would be ZingFest. Hopefully every single one of you is registered. I went within a couple months of joining and literally never missed except for twice in my life. Once when my oldest was a senior and it was senior night. And the second time when my husband was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania and a parent needed to stay at home with the kids because they had a bunch of activities. And I still it was like you want to be in two places at once. Because if you want to be connected, if you understand the culture of who Zingular is, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that would take you away from it. No other company, no other promise, no excuse, nothing would take you away from Zingular. So that's my first one, would be connection. And these kind of build on each other. Number 2 is belief. And that keeps me passionate and excited all the time, because when I connect to all those people, all the learning, all the excitement, everything that's filling me up, and I'm growing and I am learning, you just automatically get belief. You know what I mean? Like it just builds something inside of you. And I just don't think you can be successful without belief. You can fake it till you make it, sort of. But I feel like at some point, if it's not authentic to who you are, it just falls apart, right? Belief to me drives me. It motivates me. It makes me stick to it, because in hard times, I know what I know about it, right? Our emotions change constantly. The truth never does. So yes, of course, there are days I'm down or I wake up and I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I really want to do this. I'm not in the mood. Whatever. It drives me and motivates me and tells me to do it because of belief. I believe in the truth of this place. I believe I don't care what other people are doing, what other businesses tout that they're, growing, or they're the top of the list here and there. I know what's here, and I know it's not anywhere else. And so that belief will teach you to literally never quit. No one, nowhere, no how will ever change my mind. They could talk trash on every single thing I do, on the company, on the product, on the business, and I will adamantly refuse to believe that, because I know what's true in my heart. So belief is so powerful. That belief builds on what I would say number 3 is, which is absolute, utter excitement. I do love this. I am excited because why? I connected, I learned, I grow, people pour into me. I get to share my love and passion for it. My belief builds every time I talk to a customer or a team member, or someone says to me, that 8 days changed my life. That, this got me to dream again. Like, I was able to pay for this for my kids, or I never thought I'd get to do that, or I never thought I'd fit in these clothes. Like, the excitement that comes from that is like it's pouring out of you. The belief fills your cup, right? The Bible says when you're filled up, it's in the overflow that blessings come. So it's the belief that fills your cup, and the overflow is excitement. I mean, you just can't help it. You cannot help it. And then people are drawn to you, right? There's that quote that says there's a fire burning so deep inside that people come to watch it burn. It's like they don't even care what you're talking about. In fact, if you watch any successful person's Facebook, basically campaign commercials, if you guys saw that thing on Room at the Top, you should go Google it if you haven't. Stephanie, can't remember her name, but I can see her, did a whole training on the 5 pillars. Stephanie Miller did this training on the 5 pillars. Basically, if you were to go to Laci Friend's Instagram, Facebook, or come to my home, talk to me, and you had to write, what do you think are the 5 most valuable things, or what are the 5 categories that make up Laci? Faith, family, and all the things to do with my family, sports, my dogs, vacation, whatever, right? Fashion, which we cannot contain today. It may not look like it today, but I love anything. I mean, about to get my hair done on Wednesday and put my extensions back in. And, like, I love the lashes, the nails, the clothing, the shoes. I mean, I just love the stuff. I love jewelry. I always have matching everything at games, and everybody makes fun of me. That's part of it, right? So faith, family, fashion, food. I mean, I'm always going to be the one. I love to eat. And I think, okay, you know what? I want to cheat the system. How can I be skinny and still eat chocolate chip cookies? That's where I want. I am never going to be one of those girls who can hook up to some thing and just never go off a plan, right? I want my plan to be so good that you don't ever have to go off the plan. So I always try to healthify recipes, or say, oh, I got this new recipe for trail mix, but it's lower carbs, which works good for my body, and healthy, right? So food, I talk about it all the time. Starbucks and my favorite things that I eat and where I go eat and da 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 da. 2 of my most popular things on Facebook, like video wise, was literally a description of what I'd ordered at Starbucks. And the other one was buns. I found these hamburger buns and bread that, I mean, I've tested them all, and people still send me messages. What is that company? Where do you get that? And my daughter and I doing a TikTok with high-low Doritos. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're good and they're low carb. Anyway, so that's food. And singular is my 5th, right? If you were to go look up my page, go look at my page after we're done. And as you scroll, that is exactly what you're going to see. Those 5 things. So when you're excited about all 5, people aren't sick of singular. They're also not sick of my recipes. They might be sick of my family, but it is my show, and I am the main character. So why on earth would I let anyone else dominate what happens in my life, right? My life is my show. I am the main character. I mean, let that sink in. How many times do we allow other people to influence us? So it's authentic. It's contagious. Everybody wants to know what you got. Everybody wants to find it. They want to place at your table. When you are inviting, you are excited, you are loving, you have passion, you believe it. That is what excitement does for you. Okay. Now the secret sauce, which I guess would be number 4, is consistency, right? Nothing new. We've all heard that before, but that's it. If you don't sprinkle the secret sauce on top, it doesn't matter how full of belief you are, how much excitement you have, how connected you are, how passionate and authentic you are, if nobody knows it, because you're not out there telling them, right? So consistency for me is teamsy, and people preach this all the time. I've had a lot of people who get it. They just don't take the time to settle into it. Or, for me, sometimes it's uploading all my brain and paperwork and all that, and taking all that time to get something started. And so I'll go back to my papers. Oh, I'll go back to my calendar way. I'm telling you, it's worth this much time, even though it feels overwhelming, because you get this much from it. So Teamsy is huge. Boards was the same way. Took me days and weeks to load that thing. And I kept thinking, is this worth it? Oh my gosh. I would not want to live a day without it at this point, right? So take the time. A newer one for me is Project Broadcast. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. You can go look it up. What if you guys, we lost social media? I mean, that's how I'm attached to 5,000 people. I literally had to start getting rid of people to make room on my bus, right? Because you can only have 500 or 5,000 friends. What if it disappeared? Well, I didn't really have a good plan for that. I always thought, oh, I just hope it doesn't. That's not a great plan. So I have Project Broadcast, and all 7,500 and some odd customers, prospects, and team members are now loaded into that. And every day I work hard to contact people who are, thought about it over the last 10 and a half years, and try to entice them with giving me their cell phone number, so I can continue to build that side of it. And I can send one message and it goes out like a text to whoever I want it to. There's tags and categories. And by George, I have a prospect category. I have a first line category. I have an inactive category. I have a levels 1 through 4. Yes, it takes forever to set up, but guess what? When a promo comes now, I don't sit for 4.5 hours or sometimes longer, copying, pasting. Even though it's in boards, I still have to click boards, promo, paste, board, promo, paste, board, promo, paste, or copy, paste, 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 and hope that I don't get put in jail or shut down or whatever. Now I have everything I need to make one message. I select which tags I want it to go to, which tags I don't want it to go to, and I can click send at 10 a.m. I'm done. It's insane. It's literally insane. What used to take hours takes me 15 minutes to set it up, and it's done. I still put it in boards, because for those people who haven't given me their number, or my team members who don't have Project Broadcast yet, they can still go. I still go to boards. They still go to boards. I just go click once and then it's done. The daily checklist, IPA form, whatever else helps you know what categories to focus on, right? It's all about consistency. It's all about do the do. Don't care how we feel, because as we said before, our feelings and emotions change. We cannot trust those things. We can trust the truth. Never changes. So what do I like to be recklessly dedicated to each day on my consistency? My why. And that seems weird, but if I don't know why I'm doing it, then when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I'm not motivated to message someone who's going to ghost me 30 times. I'm not motivated to look in my back office if my points are down. I'm not motivated to, I don't know, sending messages isn't like, oh, this is like my calling in life, right? But if on a daily basis, I wake up and I see and I remind myself and I think upon my why, that's written down, that's in pictures, that's my family's whole, it's not Laci Friend's why, it's Laci's, it's Chris's, it's Carter's, it's Bryn's, it's Cade's, it's Ella's, and those grandbabies that they're going to give me soon enough. It's all of ours. It's the legacy. It's what I want for my family. It's what my family wants. So when I locker, I don't have a lock. I should have put a lock on my office door, even with teenagers. But when I shut the doors to my office and they know that I'm working, they love it. Their mom has freedom. Their dad has freedom. We're around way more than we're gone. For a while, that was a little bit of an unbalanced thing. It was like a unicorn to find. but it just takes time. But they're dedicated like me because they know, oh, wow, that took us to the Grand Cayman. That was able to pay for college for my oldest, who's now a senior. That has purchased vehicles that we have family cars that they get to drive. That has done so many things. We've helped our schools, and my kids have benefited from the football team donations, or we get to, be there for everything. And all the kids know I'm the mom, I'm the teen mom, right? My kids have benefited from all of it too. So that's what you wake up and say, I'm so excited to get up and do this today because I'm making my family's dreams come true. I'm so excited that this is my life. I have so much belief and excitement and authenticity in this. I want everyone to have what I have because, and you fill in the blank. If you wrote it down, you have it in pictures, and you shared it with your team and your leaders, then think on that when you wake up. So that's one thing. Next one is my goal. What is my goal for like today? What is my goal for this week? What is my goal for this month? What is my like maybe 90-day goal? What is you have lots of goals, big dreams that you're like, that seems a bit crazy, right? The BHAG goals, big, hairy, audacious goals. And then you have the ones that you're like, I might actually be able to conquer that. But when you check off those daily and weekly ones and monthly ones, and even ones a little farther out, like, woo, okay, Heather Cates has a house now, right? That wasn't on her original goal. That wasn't. It was probably like, okay, I need to pay for my products, and then a few bills, and it just builds. So have all of them in front of you. Follow your numbers. This was a hard one for me because numbers don't bring me happiness, but we run a business. So I used to just ignore them because my heart said, just help the people. And guess what? That worked pretty well for me. I've been really successful for 10.5 years because of the people, because I focused on my love and passion for people. But I am a business owner. I need to know where my numbers are. I need to know where my team is. We need to set goals and fight for it. Another one, social media. Obviously, that's a big part of consistency. If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Snapchat, Pinterest, Facebook, if you don't know it, learn it. Use your 5 pillars there. Post, get in your stories. Don't make an excuse for not understanding it, because there's so much free information out there. If you really want it, you'll go do it, right? Obviously, making friends, whether that be in real life that you then add to your Facebook, or on Facebook. Make sure that you're always seeking to make new relationships, because those are new people, and you may be connecting to them, and you may be the answer to their prayer that they're looking for. Physically, energy, health, financially, the dreams of their life. I don't take that for granted. If God gives me those relationships, I have them forever. I make those friends. I invite them to the results group. I'm active in the results group so they can see them. And I check on people, whether they're on my team now, they were in the past, or they have never been. If I get paid every day for loving people, like, who's crazy for not doing this? And it isn't me for telling them, it's them for not doing it, right? Personal development, which is part of connecting. So that one's easy. Follow-up is literally key, right? Like, we make those friends, and what I just say, I have them in my life always. I literally interact with them online, authentically loving them and, their life, whether they're not yet my customer, they are my customer, or they used to be. Same with the business. And I mean that, anybody on my team or used to be on my team. Another thing that I do is bold messages. And that's a more recent one, because as confident as sometimes I may seem, that one scares me. Like, I think this person would be amazing, but she's already super successful in real estate. I have a lump in my throat. I cannot believe I'm about to send her this voice message. And guys, I do them with voice. I don't send bold messages in writing, because there is no way somebody could understand the heart behind what I'm doing unless they hear it. And I'm still a little chicken, just pick up the phone. So I'm like, okay, well, my voice message on text, because text is always the first thing people read, which is another reason Project Broadcast works so well, because people look at their text first, maybe then their Facebook or other social media. So I go to text if I have their number. And if I don't, I will go to Facebook Messenger or DMs and on Instagram or whatever. But I use my voice. And you better believe I say, oh my gosh, I'm not going to send you one of those hey girl messages. Like, this is from me to you. And I'm actually scared to even say this to you, but like I watch all the time, and you are, and I fill in the blank. Whatever it is that attracted me to reach out to them, I compliment and tell them, because if nothing else happens with this conversation, I hope they feel, like just lifted up in their life, that they feel encouraged, that whatever they're working hard on is being seen, you know? And so I fill in the blank. You are like literally my idol. When I get on social media, you are so good at this. When you're showing your houses and you're flipping stuff, and you have such incredible style, and I watch all these people respond to you, you are like a magnet, and I spend most of my time complimenting them. And I say, and so, like I would be an idiot if I didn't ask you if you keep your, do you keep options open and making more money in other places? Because we're growing, and you literally are like my dream team. Like if I could teach people how to be, it would be to be like you. I mean, I make this as personal and real and authentic as I humanly possibly can. Well, guess what? I get a lot more hits from that than some canned message I could give you to reach out and have a bold message. It's bold and it's authentic, but it's people that I'm like, they might ignore me. They might say, "Are you nuts, girl?" That's what I would say to somebody if they reached out to me to do another business. I'm like, "Are you crazy? Like, this is my love." And no, I'm not. I'm not interested. However, if in the end it encourages them and brings them hope and excitement for what they already do, then great. That was the purpose. I don't worry about it. You know what I mean? If the purpose isn't for them to come and be a part of our team, fine. It was to encourage them and lift them up. You never know what's going on. And if I can just be that messenger, my shirt says service over self. Oh no, service above self. And it's literally my mantra. Like I try to teach my family and my children and live by that. Like just serve others. Don't worry about what's in it for you. And guess what? God is going to bless your pants off when you do that. You just get it sevenfold, tenfold, whatever it says in that scripture, right? Like without even trying. Video chats, because again, it's about your voice. It's about your face. Try your darndest to get anyone interested and anyone new on video chats. That's part of my consistency, is scheduling those for myself with my leader and with my front line, and those I treat my front line. And then I tell them, go to the next level again. Like people don't just need one, right? Customer care. Never, ever, 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 ever do I want to hear a customer say that Laci didn't check on me. Laci didn't care about me. Like customer care is very closely related to subscriptions, right? If people do not set one up and I talk about it before they get started, then I'm going to talk about it right after. And then I'm going to talk about it again and again at 15 days and 30 days and 45 days. Why? Because I know, had I not continued with the products, I would be in worse shape than before I started. I know that I'm always going to give people the opportunity to do the business, because I wouldn't be here if I didn't have made enough money to pay for my products, right? So I'm not going to decide for somebody else. And that leads me to that last one, which is shift to share. If you guys, saw that on the room at the top, when I think it was Maddie, Deanna, or Danielle, myself, and Kala, did that training. And I really try every day to do that. The bold messages, at least a couple people a day. That's all the guts I've got, y'all. I couldn't do 10 a day. And I try to make them so valuable to the person that I really only got about 2 in me for the day. I know that sounds crazy, but guess what? 2 a day adds up a lot versus 10 here. Don't do it for 4 months, 5 here. Don't do it for 3 weeks, right? It's that consistency, which is why it's part of the consistency. So that's kind of what I recklessly abandon myself to every day, are those things. I don't know. I feel like somebody posted this, or I saw something that said, what does it say? When you see what's possible in singular, you can never unsee it. Right? So when you see top leaders and you think, wow, okay. It doesn't even have to be a top leader in the company. That's not what I mean about that. Like somebody you look up to. They could be a silver manager, right? A top leader to me isn't your rank. It is who you are. It's what I want to emulate. That is that person, someone that I just feel carries themselves with such integrity and love, and you can tell they mean what they say and they're authentic and they are successful. Once you see that, you can't unsee it. And it is available to you. We have to learn to hold on to this thought and let it sink in. Talk to yourself. Don't listen to yourself. When I listen to myself, there's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of fear. That's something I always am having to fight, right? That's kind of the thorn in my side, is fear. And, oh gosh, is this going to last? Oh gosh, am I enough for people? Oh gosh, am I going to be able to help a new person? Oh gosh, I'm not going to be good enough for that training. I mean, I could listen to myself all day with those limiting beliefs. Or I can talk to myself. I can speak into my life. I can say, you are capable. It is possible. You have all the tools. You have the same company, the same products, the same comp plan, the same access to people as everybody else, and you can do it. You can get on here and put out a bold message. You can speak into someone else's life. God gave you gifts, and guess what? He took 2 fish and 5 loaves and fed thousands. So if he can take the one tiny gift I have, he can do anything with that and affect millions of people. And it won't be about me. Service above self, right? So talk to yourself. Don't listen. Use your words to say what you're going to do, not to describe your current situation. That will change everything for you about limiting beliefs or doubts or fears. And then I think it was on this one, just like I was like, I need actually to like paint this on my wall in front of me. It was on another training, and it said, you're in Zingular for a little while, but then Zingular's in you. And honestly, that's where I am today. I was in Zingular, right? I was learning. I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay, we'll see if this lasts. Laci's done 100 things and never sticks to any of them. I must have a bit of ADHD. La 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 la. I'll listen. Oh yeah, they're real successful, but I don't know if I can do that. I'm a girl from a small town, and I like don't know anyone, and the 5 people I know are broke. I mean, all the things, right? I was listening to myself instead of talking to myself. And then it just starts getting in your blood, right? And pretty soon Zingular's in you so much that I'm sorry, I can't separate these things. This is part of who I am. So that is what I've got. Stuff is coming. I'll let you ask me questions, I guess, Jamie, if I didn't take up too much of your time.
You absolutely did not. That was absolutely amazing, Laci. Thank you so much. I loved every second of that. And I was trying to write without getting a writer's cramp as fast as I could. So you have been with Zingular for 10.5 years. What, if at any point you found yourself, maybe your business had backslid a little bit, or, I mean, I know you came out like total rock star. If you guys don't know Laci's story, I highly encourage you to, it's probably on 1,000 videos somewhere. Go watch her story, or just reach out, and I'm sure she will gladly tell it to you. But if at any point you found yourself discouraged, which you covered a lot of this, was it the speaking confidence into yourself? Was it, just focusing on your why that got you unfocused on how slow business was going, and focused on the rebuild, I guess what I'm saying.
Well, it's happened more than once. Okay. So first of all, until you've sat at a rank for 6 years and 9 months, don't talk to me, because that's how long I was stuck at a rank. 6 years and 9 months. All right. Now, I just tease with that because I would never complain. I was still blessed where I was, but I was indeed at one rank. And if you're here, it means that you're going for it. It means you've got that personality and drive that you want to improve. All of us do. That's why we're here. That's why you're successful. That's why I've been successful. But like legit, you guys, 6 years and 9 months. Every month setting a new goal and not reaching it. But then there's been other times that, yes, I've slid back, or maybe I haven't, but I just feel discouraged for some other reason. It's all those things you just said. But if I'm 100% honest, yes, I spoke to myself. Yes, I would plug in. Yes, I would do all this. But if I had to narrow it down, the most important, it would be to reach out to my leader. Right. So we all come with different gifts, and Kala is my closest leader that is active. Even though at one point she was 3 levels above me. And, it didn't matter if she reached out to me. She's busy. She has a lot of people. I would reach out to her and say, oh my gosh, okay, I don't know if I can do this again. I'm discouraged. I'm blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So that's one of them. And even if I wanted to speak to myself, I still had limiting, beliefs and doubts. And I would listen to myself as often as I would speak to myself for a while until I like exercised that enough for it to get stronger. She would believe for me. I mean, she literally would speak it into me. So again, don't ever pull back from things when you're struggling. Lean in, push in, go get it. So that was one of them. And, it was my husband would do it for me too. Right. You can do this, honey. If you just change one person's life, isn't it worth it? Right. Just one person's life. And he told me, you changed my life. And what if you would have quit before that? Or like, think of so-and-so. He would remind me of people. And so that leads me to the second one. And you literally, this is the thing, it literally is the why. Like, even if Kala wasn't there and I had to talk to myself over and over, if I ever quit or said no or walked away or put it down, I looked at that like it was my child's face. I can set this down and say, I can't do this anymore. I'm so discouraged. I'm disappointed. What else was going to get me here? Nothing. No job. And I have a college degree, whoop-de-doo, but that was never going to get me there. Other things were never going to get me there. But if I let it go, quit, got discouraged, walk away, slowly let it fade, I was giving up on my children and future grandchildren and my future with my husband when my kids all move out and we get to spend way more money on our own fun stuff. Like, I'm not going to give up on that. Like, that sets in me so hard that if I go to just say, I'm done for today, I walk away, and you better believe in about 15 minutes, I walk back and I say, no, I'm not. I'm not going to say no to them. I'm not going to give up that dream. I don't care if my, best friend thought I was nuts. Well, now she feels like she is for not doing it. Right. So I would say that would be the biggest one. The biggest one is you got to remember what drew you here and remember what is the gift that God gave you to share here. What is it that you believe? What is your legacy? You're saying no to your future. I was saying no to the house I'm sitting in right now if I gave up, the pool that was in my backyard, the barn that I hope to bless so many people, the pond out front, and I don't even have the lake house, but I've got the boat, right? I mean, it's coming. I'm going to have it because my family wants it. So that's, one of the reasons, whatever, that I'm still here. The biggest one being, I want every single person on our team now, and whenever they join us, the ones that haven't been here, I want them to have this. How else do you repay what this huge blessing is than to try to give it to everybody? Right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. You actually answered both of my questions all in one right there. So does anybody else have any questions for Laci? Laci is, when I think of Zingular, I think of Laci. The most genuine heart, the most genuine person, will reach out sideways, up, down, cross, it doesn't matter. She will reach everywhere to help you. So if you have a question for her, now is the time while you've got her ear, for sure. Anybody? Crystal?
I have a question. Lily decided to update her game on the video thing right as the middle of this meeting, so I missed some of it. So if this is repeated, I'm sorry. I was like, get off of the game. So customer connection, like whenever we have the smaller team and we're just starting, it's easier to make those one-on-one connections with our customers and stuff like that. I've made a Facebook group for my customers. I made a chat for my customers, and I've done all that. But I still feel like I'm lacking a little bit on making that connection. But as your team gets bigger, it gets harder to make a one-on-one connection every single day with your customers or once a week. So do you have any like secrets to all that?
Well, here's what I would say to that is, at first, when I have a new customer or team member, it's like daily, right? We're walking them through the 8 day or the 8 days of the business and getting them kickstarted. And then even in the first month, it's really, really often like every other day after that, or every few days after that, all the way for me through the first month. After the first month, the next like 60 days until they hit day 90, I try to touch I mean, my team weekly, but my customers at least 2 or 3 a week, 2 times a month or whatever. When I hit 90 days, it goes on a 1-month rotation. At that point, it's like, okay, I'm going to check on them once a month. And I try on my Teamsy to spread it out. So I have so many a day. I have a lot. At this point, I have actually hired an assistant, and that's her job. I put it in boards, like for what I want for that month. Sometimes, y'all, it's just personal. Oh my gosh, have a great holiday weekend. I was just thinking about you. And then every day she sends that for the whole month. That's our monthly check-in. Other times it is, can you update me? What's going on? So that's my thing. Now, I don't know if you missed this or not, but Project Broadcast has wildly altered that now, even that I can send out. I still have everybody on the first week and then the first month and then the 60, and I have them tagged that way. So I know, but after 90 days, they just go to my general customer check-in. CCI is how we have that tag. Or GCI, sorry, general customer check-in. I'm blonde. It is CCI, and that doesn't matter. I get hung up on these things. Customer check-in. Okay, anyway. But that's who gets a once a month message. And it took me a little bit, like a deep breath, to say, "Ooh, that doesn't feel personal," when I'm setting up a message that's going to everyone and I ain't even the one sending it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But guess what? They don't know that. And it is me. I'm the one who comes up with the message. I'm the one who loads it in there. And then I tell my assistant, hey, I want you to send this message to everybody, or I might change it if there's a promo, or if it's a holiday before the weekend, we get through however many, right? But now, instead of her having to go in every day and do, y'all, I am not kidding. There are days it's well over 100 a day. I've done this a long time. I have, and like I said, I don't even stop doing it when they're not my customer anymore. I do it forever. So it just keeps growing and keeps growing. Well, when I got organized and put it all in there, now we just kind of popcorn. It's kind of new, but we're just popcorning. Like, it might be the 8th of September, and then it might be the 15th of October, and then the 21st of November, and then the 2nd of December. And you see what I'm saying? And we only have to do it once and then click the tags, and poof, it goes to everybody's text. That's really personal. So I would suggest starting Project Broadcast now. If you have 1 friend, 10 friends, 20 customers, because then each month as you update that and it grows, you are going to thank yourself. As soon as you get prospects on your results groups, you guys asking you, I got to watch the time, I guess. When you get people on your prospects asking you, you know what my first thing is? It is no longer, oh, are you looking for weight loss, energy, health, blah, blah, blah. My very first message to people, or second, I just kind of judge it, is, oh my gosh, do you mind giving me your cell phone number? I like to keep this really personal, and Facebook is so weird. Sometimes we get messages that get buried, or you don't get it, or whatever. So if I could get your cell phone number, I have a business line and I would love to add you to my business contacts. If you catch them at the very beginning when they're highly interested, literally I'm getting 100% of those. The people who've been around for 6 years, who I've followed up with, 833 times with maybe a thumbs up once every 300 times, those are the harder ones to get their number. But going forward, I'm getting them. And now they're in prospects. I can do something. In customers, I can do something. As long as you tag and label everybody and change those tags as their status changes, then it's like crazy easy, because it's one click and it goes to everybody. You can still, just so you know, in there's a messenger thing. If they message you back, then you can get into a personal, if they come back and say, I'm good. What was that kind of milk that you liked that was low carb? I can answer them and it just goes to them. You get in a chat just like a text message. So it's the initial message that is the hardest, right? Because sometimes that's 20 a day, 40 a day. It just keeps growing. But if you can do that in a work smart, right? And you can do that in a one, then when they come back, then you can just sit and answer their personal messages, because they just kind of come when they come. Does that make sense, Crystal? Okay. Did anybody else have one?
Yes, and you actually covered my next question, because I was going to say, so what happens when they reply and then you're spending more time doing the individual messages? So that helps too.
Yeah. And I found, and after 10.5 years, no kidding, I literally have almost 8,000 contacts in Project Broadcast, which is only my levels 1 through 4, not even my whole team. Okay. I have found that when they message back, it's just thank you, or oh, let me ask you this, and those are manageable, even with 7,000, almost 8,000 people in there, because they don't all come at once. Some people do it later. Some people don't do it at all, but I have also found, y'all, people respond to my texts 10 times faster than my Facebook messages too, because it's just the fastest and first thing people see. So
that's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Heather and I talked a little bit about Project Broadcast, and she's like, yeah, I sent out this text message and it went to like a bajillion people. I was like, so that's really good to know, because I was actually it was on my list to get into and do. So I'm so thankful that you carved out some time to spend with us this evening. Thank you so much, Miss Laci. If you guys don't know this, Laci runs the keto page, the I'm Doing This For Me page. It's strictly for your keto people. So if you ever need to add them in there, just say, hey, I just invited this person, because sometimes they get a little buried.
I'm terrible about it, actually. So please do just send me a message and say, hey, I invited these people. That just helps me, because I know some of you know this, when you run so many different pages and you're like just trying to keep up with all of it, it seems like, yeah. So that is helpful to me. And I do try to go right to it. If you message me, then I'm like, oh, crud, here I come. I'm going to go approve them. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to stop this recording.